Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Simply Country Cuisine. I'm Susie. So welcome. All right, today what we're going to make is an apple pie filling coffee cake. I have a ladies' meeting tomorrow, and I thought this would be a nice dessert to serve with some coffee. And I've changed the recipe up a little bit. I thought this would actually be a little bit better. The original recipe calls for a white cake mix. Usually when you use a white cake mix, you don't use the egg yolks, you just use the whites because you don't want your cake mix to be yellow. Well, I preferred to use the Duncan Hines classic yellow cake. And the apple pie filling was a regular pie filling, but I thought I would top it off this time, make this one with a caramel apple filling. And the drizzled icing was confectioner sugar and milk. Well, I'm going to do a caramel drizzle, and I just thought that would be so yum. We'll give it a try. Starting off, I have sprayed a 9 by 13 cake plate baking dish, and the recipe says start with the first 5 ingredients. Well, that's our cake mix. I'm going to add a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. There is no butter in this one. I have a cup of sour cream. We have 3 eggs. Well, let's add the water first. I have 1/4 cup of water because I like to crack my eggs. Make sure that they were not harvesting. Now I'm just going to give this a little bit of a stir before I turn my mixer on. Because I'm not using my stand mixer. I'm using my hand mixer today, and I really don't want to get cake mix all over. So I'll probably mix it for about a minute or 2. And if you have any comments on anything, please always remember to comment at the bottom of the videos on our YouTube channel. And I'll be happy to answer any questions, or if I can't, I will find the answer for you. And remember to have your friends and to subscribe, like, and share. I do like this new hand mixer Mark bought me. It's got the tips of the beaters are rubberized, so you're not hearing them bang against the bowl. Now I want to scrape the sides of my bowl down. Make sure we have all these delicious ingredients inside the cake. I have sprayed this 9 by 13 pan. Now we're going to put the cake mix in first. Add 1 can of apple pie filling. Right after you've filled your pan up, put it in the oven for 40 minutes at 350 degrees. Hi, welcome back. So I'm over at the stove now. We're going to make our easy caramel drizzle. And the cake is cooling, as you can see, Dina. It came out of the oven. And it does look like a coffee cake. It has the cake around it and all that appley goodness, caramel appley goodness in it, but I'm covering it up. I'm not putting a plastic or foil on it. I'm just putting a little tea towel on it. I don't want it to sweat while it's cooling, but I have to cover it up because we do have cat families here. We have 2 kitty cats, and they might decide to eat it. So I'm going to start with a cup of firmly packed brown sugar and a can of sweetened condensed milk. We're going to bring it to a boil over medium-high heat, and then we're going to continue stirring it and whisking it. We'll reduce the heat and we'll simmer it for 5 minutes. You know, I have seen people, I'm not sure, I haven't tried it yet, but they will take a can of condensed milk and put it in a crock pot, the can unopened, in water and let it cook, and it will caramelize itself. Now I'm going to actually stir this up and bring it to a boil. Remember, as we're cooking this, to bring it to a boil, stir it constantly, because we don't want the sugars. This is nothing in here but sugar, and we don't want it to crystallize and stick to the bottom of your pan. While this is boiling, you know, I took a shortcut. I used a cake mix. I could have probably easily done it by scratch. But now I'm not taking a shortcut. I'm making the caramel sauce from scratch. So a little bit blends with a little bit, and it's going to taste so homemade and so good and rich and sweet and gooey. So just kind of add your own touches once in a while. Make it your own. All right, now it's been about 5 minutes. As you can tell, it's very well blended. Now I'm going to take it off of the fire, put 2 tablespoons of butter in there, melt that in there. And I'm going to add half a teaspoon of vanilla. The recipe calls for just a pinch of salt, so I'm just going to put a little tiny bit in my hand. Remember, salt brings out the sweetness. We're going to get this all blended and mixed up. This is not an icing. This is not a dip, because it's going to harden a little bit. Okay, now if you join me back over at the island, we're going to drizzle this on our cake, and I'm going to show you one more quick step that's going to just send this cake into heaven. Now we're back over at the island, and I'm going to drizzle this over top my cake. Since the corners didn't really get any of the apple, we want to make sure at least it gets some caramel. Caramel. I suppose it depends on what part of the country you're from, how it's pronounced. And I think I've probably almost overloaded it, but I wanted to make sure every bite had a little bit of the caramel on it. Now, I'm going to send this over top of the edge. I have some flaky sea salt. And I'm just going to put a little of that on top. All right, and there we have our apple pie filling coffee cake. Now, you think we ought to cut a little piece and try it? I think we should. All right, so we're gonna try our apple pie filled coffee cake. Oh, I wish you could eat this. We might have to have another bite. This tastes like a caramel apple. It's delicious. It's going to be great for the autumn, October, November. Ooh, that'd be a good Thanksgiving dessert. Yeah, remember that. Remember to subscribe, like, and share our videos on YouTube to be alerted of our next videos on Wednesdays. And they'll show up on Facebook. And sometimes I do a little trivia contest on Facebook. I haven't for a while. I've had the grandkids here this summer. They're gone back, so maybe we'll get back to doing that a little bit. And if you don't have a place to worship, please always join us at any Glad Tidings location. We have 5 locations here in Central Texas, but it's the same church. It's one church. 5 wonderful men and women of God that speak His truth right from the Bible. And I'm going to take another bite because I have a sweet tooth. And I've got to have one more bite. The caramel topping with that sea salt. People, let me tell you, this is heaven in a pan. God bless, and I love you.